Hi everyone, back at the Marriott in Washington, D.C. We're at the House of Delegates and we're Dean's Chat on location. We're super excited about this weekend. Joanne and I flew in to have a couple of really interesting days with the House of Delegates. This is your first time here, Jo.
It is, yeah.
And this is my second or third time here. And so I'm really excited about what's coming ahead.
Yeah, there's some really interesting things that are kind of up for vote. There's some very interesting discussion. A couple things that have potentially really big repercussions for the profession, both with young members, students, possibly the way that we govern the educational branches. So there's a lot of really interesting things happening.
Not to mention budgets and things too.
Absolutely, yeah. And Megan McClelland is going to make her appearance for the true representation for the whole society. And there's a lot of, I think, anticipation. So really excited to see kind of how it all plays out.
Well, our plan is to bring in some leaders to have little 2 to 5 minute interviews. We'll bring in some students.
Yeah.
We'll bring in some leaders of the state associations. We'll bring in some practitioners, and hopefully we'll even get an interview with the new president,
Yeah.
Brooke Bisbee, and our new CEO, Megan McClelland. So we're super excited about this episode, and we can't wait to bring it to you.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. We're at Dean's Chat on location here in Washington, D.C. with the APMA House of Delegates meeting. We have the amazing Megan McClelland here with us again. Thank you for coming on our little on location Dean's Chat.
Well, thank you for being here. It's been awesome to have you guys here and to see all the excitement at HOD.
It has been so much fun, and there's been such energy and passion. And you made a comment yesterday, and I'm going to try to quote it, but you said something about it has never been more essential for podiatry, and our collective inputs will result in our collective strengths, or something.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wrote it down. I loved it so much. Can you talk a little bit? Yesterday, I think, was the first time some of the members of APMA really got to hear from you and see you in this new APMA role. Yeah. What was that like?
It was electric. We really had an amazing time. I think we're at a different point with the field now. I think coming out of here, unification is the key. And what we were talking about was podiatric medicine is so essential now to take care of our patients and what we're going to need in the future. And for us to be collectively strong means that we have to be together. And I am so heartened by the leaders that came this last couple days and what they've been doing and the hard work they put in. I think we're really poised for the future now. And it's a new day. It's a new day. It's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's been a really fun experience, too, to see so much energy in the young members.
Mm-hmm.
We had some fun initiatives that were passed today. Can you talk a little bit about the emphasis in the Emerging Leaders Program and some of the other opportunities for our young members?
Yeah, so maybe I'll just start with what we were just finishing up before I came and joined you, which was the Foundation for Podiatric Education. And we had a room full of leaders standing up to pledge money to give scholarships to students. You can't get any more engaged than that. It was so much fun, and it just really catches fire. But we've also had great student engagement from our association here, and they put forth some propositions this year that passed. So we'll now have students voting in referendums. I think you're really seeing the reflection of the field, understanding that our future is part of that. And then we also had our Emerging Leaders Program. So we have several of those folks here that are young physicians that are going through our leadership program. And they're here now as delegates, alternatives, or they're looking at observer status. And then our own Lauren Wurster, who's our YP on our board. She ran 2 different initiatives on this meeting. I mean, I am so inspired by the new generation. And I'm so happy that our folks that have been here for a while are really embracing that and moving it forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been really exciting to see the collective effort and input, and as you said, that unification.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the spirited discussions, everyone's goal is truly to make things better. It's been wonderful to watch different arms and branches come together and truly working together to make things better and not just to be divisive. So it's been a really wonderful experience to be here.
Yeah, the camaraderie, and people gave on some positions, and that's not a bad thing. We don't need to think winning and losing. We need to think how we move the profession forward. Yeah. And I really saw leaders do that this weekend. And I think that with the excitement that we have here and with all the new folks that are joining us at APMA, the sky's the limit. We're going to really be branding the profession. We're going to be working with other organizations. We're really going to bring a new face to podiatry, and I can't be more excited. And I'm so happy you all have been here to see it all as well.
Well, thank you again so much for taking the time to come up here and chat with us briefly on location. And until next time, cheers, everyone.
Bye.
We're back on location with Dean's Chat at the American Podiatric Medical Association House of Delegates meeting. And I got to run into Savannah and Santiago in person, and so we're really excited to actually connect in real life. How's it been, Savannah?
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. I mean, I think it's such a pleasure that I have such a supportive program director that allowed me to be here, that my chiefs gave me the time off, that APMA is encouraging me as a young physician to be here and to really observe the work that they're doing. I mean, I think it is such a privilege, and just the fight that we have for our podiatric community. I mean, you step into that room and it is palpable, the passion that we all feel for this career. And I mean, I love podiatry, and it's just making me love podiatry even more.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
It's like after some of the sessions this morning, the overarching theme was optimism and pushing the profession forward and uniting us. And so again, bringing all of medicine together, and podiatry is as part of that. Again, I just think that that's really an amazing opportunity.
Absolutely, I fully agree. I mean, I love podiatry, and I want every student to know that their voice is being heard. And it doesn't matter how young you are, it doesn't matter how early you are in your profession. I mean, I'm an intern, and I got a weekend off to spend here in DC and get to observe my profession, and I'm just so grateful.
Well, and we're really excited that you are in the
you.
profession and helping continue to make it better.
I know there are more of me out there, and I can't
Definitely.
wait until they find podiatry too.
Well, thank you so much, Savannah.
Oh, of course.
Welcome back to Dean's Chat on Location. We're here with Dr. Priya
Parthasarathy.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Oh, we practiced that a couple times, and I am just failing today. But we're really excited to have you here as the head of the communications committee for APMA. Tell us a little bit about what it's been like at the House of Delegates meeting.
The House of Delegates has been amazing. The energy, the positivity, and looking forward to what is going on in our profession. I think it was much needed, and I'm really excited to be here.
Absolutely. It's been really fun to see such an initiative and push for the young members as well.
Absolutely. I wish I could call myself young, but I've been in practice for 13 years now. And so I remember when I was a young physician and coming to the House of Delegates for the first time, I was unsure of what to expect, but I understand the impact that the House of Delegates has on our profession and the decisions made in the profession. And this is what I want to highlight to the students and the young members, that this is the place to be to make changes for our profession. And I think it's difficult for them to understand initially.
And I think that's been something that's been really interesting as an observer in this role, is to see really how much attention and detail goes into creating proposals and how much work collectively our profession does to keep pushing us forward and be better.
Absolutely. Things need to change. We need to emphasize our young physicians and our students, and I'm so glad that we're taking the initiative to do it.
Yeah. Well, we're really excited to continue to see all the wonderful work that the APMA is doing, and we look forward to further opportunities to collaborate in the future.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to Dean's Chat on Location. We're here in Washington, D.C. at the APMA House of Delegates meeting, and I'm thrilled to have 4 of our amazing students, all part of the American Podiatric Medical Student Association. And so we're going to start by introducing yourselves. So we'll start with you.
Hi, my name is Priya. I'm a current 3rd year at Des Moines University, and I'm the president-elect for APMSA.
Hi, I'm Anna-Lam Wilson. I'm a 3rd year at NYCPM, and I'm the student body president at NYCPM, as well as the APMSA president committee chair.
Hi, my name is Susanna Oppong. I'm a 2nd year student at Samuel Merritt University, College of Podiatric Medicine. I am also with the APMSA, and I serve as the AACPM liaison.
And I'm Tyler Daley. I go to Temple University. I'm a 2nd year student, and I'm the APMA Board of Trustees liaison with APMSA.
You can hang on to that, Tyler, and we'll start with you. So we'll go back the other way now.
Nice.
So this has been a really exciting meeting. There's been a lot of buzz about some of the major governances and changes to, or propositions to potentially change things. But the most exciting one, I think, is actually the support that's been rallied around students. So Tyler, can you talk a little bit about what this has been like from a student perspective?
One of the greatest things that I was able to do was become a member of APMSA, and that came with advocating for students and getting involved with not just APMA, but all of our other organizations that are in there. And so just to be able to come in here and be able to pass this resolution that gives students an opportunity to vote on things that pertain to APMA, I feel like that just shows the profession is going towards this belief that students deserve a voice, and students know and deserve to be a part of these changes that will affect us in our future careers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, like, you know, we're in this field for a reason, and we're all really excited about being here. So just to have a voice, to be able to speak in the APMA, HOD, and to be able to have an impact just like on everyone in the room and just know that they support us is really powerful, just like in our place nationwide and what we get to do as students in the nation as well.
Yeah.
So this is something that I tell a lot of our potential students and new incoming students as well. I think half the job is showing up, right? And I think the fact that APMSA has a presence here and the energy here is phenomenal. When students are here, there's so many practicing physicians that you get to meet, and they're so excited to see the students as well. So the fact that the students have a seat at the table here and our presence is here, I think that's already half the battle. So I think what students make of that opportunity is the other half. So
yeah, beautifully said.
I don't even know what to add after that, but what was your question again? Sorry.
Actually, if it's okay, I'd love to highlight, you got to deliver a speech as well as the president. So, and it was an absolutely moving, you got a standing ovation from the room of the APMA.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about what that experience was like.
So my APMSA experience has been a little bit unique in that I first got involved as a delegate in the APMSA Legislative Committee, where I work with Eli, who's a fourth year at Arizona. So me and him have been working a lot with advocacy, and then I got a chance to also be like an interim liaison for the APMA Legislative Committee. And then because of that, I got the opportunity to be elected as president-elect, I'd like to say, of APMSA. And because of like the advocacy efforts Eli and I and the APMSA Legislative Committee have been doing, you know, we got to see kind of a lens into that kind of perspective. So we came up with this idea that, hey, like students should be advocating for certain bills, like, you know, government-wise, and we should have more of a say in the podiatric community. So me and Eli and, you know, the rest of APMSA as well, you know, we're like, why don't we just start a grassroots advocacy, you know, kind of thing at each state with a school. And so it took some time to get running. It's still in works, you know, we're reaching out to each state, and, you know, I have to hand it off to the deans as well as each state executive director, because everyone has been so compliant and, you know, they're so willing to work with students. And even from a personal perspective in Iowa, you know, we're always invited to the Capitol with the IPMS, and, you know, it's really nice to see how willing all the state associations are to collaborate with students, because they really care about our voices, even at the state level as well. So yeah, like I think advocacy is just, I didn't realize how important it was till I got into my role.
Yeah. And I think certainly one of the things that the APMA prides itself on is its advocacy efforts. And so again, this idea that we support our students, but let's also give them a voice and a vote in that. And so seeing the profession really rally around that, watching as the proposition got put back up, different state associations, like, we want to co-sponsor that, but like, that was so incredible to see so much support. And ultimately, really, it was such a close bill anyway, and most of it sounds like was actually some misunderstanding about some of the wording that was there. And again, just watching that governance kind of develop was really interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad that I was able to speak and kind of actually share genuine experience from a student perspective, and that like we're all lucky to be here and like being elected to be here. So, and we want to share our opinions, as we are ultimately the future of podiatry, and so we are looking for the best interests of APMA and the students as well.
Absolutely. Anything I haven't touched on from the weekend that you guys want to comment on? There's been so many different things, so I'm going to open it to you for the things that you found either the most interesting, exciting, or inspiring.
If I could share. One of the things that I found really inspiring and endearing was after the vote didn't pass the first time yesterday, how many times individual members from different delegations came up to me and said, this needs to be different, this shouldn't have happened this way. And for me, I didn't have a chance. Sitting with the APMA BOT, I don't have voting privileges. And so when we first got the results, I actually cheered because I thought we got it. But then they looked at me and they said, we didn't pass. And so for me, that was very, I wouldn't go as far as to say demoralizing, but it was, like, it was upsetting because I was so excited at first, and then there was that change in emotion. But it was so encouraging and so invigorating to see how many people came up to us afterwards and said, we support you, we're gonna fight this.
Yeah.
And that just spoke to me just how important they see us as students, and that really reinvigorated me to continue to advocate for students and to make sure we empower students further.
Yeah.
And even adding on to that too, I know a lot of prospective students really interested in the fact that we're such a small field.
Yeah.
And I guess I've talked to a lot of students who are worried about that. They're like, oh, you're a small field. Are there opportunities for me to kind of grow and understand like more of my leadership and stuff like that? But just seeing that yesterday and the support that they were able to like display to us, just shows like we are a small field and it's a growing field, obviously. But just like the closeness and the familial relationship that we have almost with people that we just met, say yesterday, at this conference is really cool. So it just shows that there's so many opportunities to become a leader. There's so many opportunities to just show your worth in this community, show what you have to offer. And it's just really empowering to see, you know, doctors supporting us in that journey too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Does anyone want to add?
Well, it's been really wonderful to have you guys here. Again, absolutely inspired by all the work that you guys are doing. And as it was mentioned today, this is the future of our profession, and it's wonderful that you are a part of it. So thank you for coming on Dean's Chat with us.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
a message to the students who are watching this and potential students. I want to emphasize that our efforts are not just for us or not just for the people that attend these things. Our efforts are for everyone that's watching and everyone that's even thinking about what podiatry is and what that means to you, to us, and to our patients. And it doesn't stop here. The proposition that we fought to get passed today, it really is just the beginning. And so it's really up to all the students at all the schools across the entire nation, even the new schools, Lake Erie, Texas. All of you guys now have voting privileges in referendums for the APMA referendums. So if there is one that is being brought across, that will be announced by your student reps and by APMA. So make sure to take advantage of that. Make sure your voice is heard. And your voice matters. We say this a lot, and we sound like a broken record, but it's true. Your voice really does matter, and I think we're clear evidence and living proof of that here today. So, thank you.
What a beautiful way to end. So that was outstanding. And so until next time, cheers, everyone. Welcome back, Dean's Chat on Location. We're here with Lauren Wurster at the American Podiatric Medical Association House of Delegates meeting in Washington, D.C. And Lauren, I am so excited. You have worked really hard on 2 different initiatives, really celebrating and supporting young practitioners and students. Can you talk a little bit about what that process was like from the very beginning stages?
For sure. So M25, which was about student voting, that really kind of spawned from the fact that there was a referendum last year. And as the young physician trustee, my goal is to really support students, residents, fellows, and young physicians. And so I said, oh, wait, this is a problem. Like, we should have our students voting, especially on things like what is the definition of podiatry, you know, from an APMA standpoint. I said, we have to change this. So I worked with APMSA and their executive director. We had a meeting, made sure the students were comfortable with the language that I was proposing and that this was something that they actually wanted, which they were in favor with. And then so that all started like late summer, early fall last year. And then it was submitted early November, and then just kind of hanging out and waiting until we got to the House of Delegates this weekend. So very exciting that it was passed. The students were tremendous, and they were really their own best advocates on this. And so I was so happy and thrilled to have this for them, and excited to see how it will transpire in the future, and hopefully get more students involved, not only in the House of Delegates, but in their student associations at school, and just overall more engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought it was also such a validation of support as the initiative went back up for a revote. Various organizations were like, we want to co-sponsor that. And again, seeing all of this as an outsider perspective, that engagement and that interest and passion and support, it was really outstanding.
It really was, and it really just goes to show, how much our individual state components support our students, and want them to be part of it and realize and recognize that they are the future.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately that we lost by like 2 or 3 votes on the initial one, and so we went back up, and everyone was really jazzed and really motivated to get going and bring it back up. So it was very much a team effort. It's never just one person. You know this, right?
Yes.
And I am so appreciative of everybody who helped support it, and that we were able to get it through.
Absolutely, and shout out to the Arizona Foot and Ankle Society.
Yes,
Dr. Hewish really helping kind of offer that. I'm not even sure the right terminology, but putting it back up for a proposal
for
reconsideration.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
I think it was really cool because obviously being the president of AZ-FAMA and having the school that we have there with Midwestern, definitely thought he was the great person to go and bring it forward.
Yeah. What are you the most excited about moving forward after this weekend's meetings?
Oh wow. I think the greatest thing about House of Delegates, or just any meeting in general, and I think we've touched on this before, is just the community and getting to interact with so many different people. It's a very busy session where we're trying to accomplish a lot and move the profession forward, but we don't do that unless we have good positive connections and engagement through with the relationships that we form. So it's just been a lot of fun of seeing different people and getting to like catch up and see them. Like last night we had the Young Physicians Dinner. And so it was a great avenue for us just to kind of sit down and, kind of talk about what the weekend was like and kind of what's going on with our lives in practice outside of that. So I think that part is one of my favorite parts about being here this weekend.
I love that. Connection and relationship.
Yes.
It's all what makes it worthwhile.
Exactly. That's why we do this, right?
Yeah.
We form those relationships with patients. We form relationships with our peers. It's really just, it makes it worthwhile.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we're really excited to continue to follow you as you blaze all these new trails, and we're thrilled about the direction that Megan McClelland and Dr. Bisbee have for the vision of APMA and kind of the support and unification of the profession, and it's going to be a really exciting next couple years.
I think it was, this weekend was really a strong catalyst to that point, and in terms of unification and making sure that we're all working together and putting profession over organization. And I'm so excited to see where that takes us.
Absolutely. Well, until next time, cheers, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Dean's Chat on location. We're back at the APMA House of Delegates meeting in Washington, D.C., and my guest now is the Executive Director of the North Carolina Foot and Ankle Society, Ms. Jean Kirk. Welcome to Dean's Chat.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here. I'm a huge follower and a very big fan.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I've got some questions to ask you about the meeting. I mean, what an exciting event.
Very exciting event. It's wonderful to be here to see friends and colleagues and family.
Very much so.
Glad to be here. We have 2 APMA trustees, one outgoing this year. Sylvia Verbalis will be done with her term as the immediate past president. So we'll take her home to North Carolina and she'll belong to us again.
Oh, very good. All right, so we're only halfway through the meeting, and a lot of energy in the air, a lot of buzz. The new executive director, Megan McClelland, gave some wonderful talks today. Your thoughts on the direction of APMA?
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I think we have a lot of opportunities to expand our membership. We have a lot of opportunities to educate our membership about what we actually do. I'm excited that she is interested in making the components a big part of her new direction. And I'm excited to have some new places to go with a new executive director.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the North Carolina Foot and Ankle Society.
The North Carolina Foot and Ankle Society is the best component in the U.S. We have a wonderful group of doctors. Our doctors have to take an exam to stay to practice in North Carolina, and because of that, it builds a real fellowship. When they go through hard things together, it builds friendships that are lifelong. We have 259 active members. We have 2 residency programs. Our residents speak at every single meeting, every one of them. The third years have to speak twice. They have to be there on location. So it encourages our young members to participate. This year we had more young members than we had active and members. So that was a really exciting time for us. We have 6 geographic zones that we divide up into. Those geographic zones meet regularly, and each has a chair. Our chairs are here. And again, we have young members as our geographic zone chairs, and that makes a lot of difference. Putting those people into leadership, we have some of them here, has made a lot of difference for us.
They're the future of our profession.
They're the future of our profession.
So how long have you been the executive director?
I have been the executive director of North Carolina Foot and Ankle Society since 2012.
Wow.
Long time.
Very good. Well, on behalf of the AA, we sure appreciate all the efforts you put forth for student recruitment. We couldn't do it without association members like North Carolina. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right,
absolutely. It's our greatest pleasure.
Thanks for joining
having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, welcome to Dean's Chat. We are on location at the American Podiatric Medical Association, a House of Delegates meeting, here with my good friend David. And we just wanted to kind of have a little chat about what your experience has been. This morning we had some interesting deliberations. And
we did, and I got to tell you, I think we've got a very action-packed weekend ahead of us. I'm very excited. This is my probably 8th or 9th trip to the House, so I'm becoming a little bit of a seasoned veteran, but at the same time, there's always novel discussion, new people to meet, great new delegates, alternates, students, observers, industry partners, you name it. So you never know who you're going to run into. I love it.
Absolutely. This has been my first time here at the House of Delegates meeting, and it's been truly invigorating. As our audience knows, I've always been a big cheerleader for our profession, but I am really excited listening to Megan McClelland talk about her vision of moving this profession forward. The optimism, even though there are opportunities and challenges ahead, I'm really excited. I loved her statement about moving forward to the betterment of podiatry and like how she has already started to put some implementations in place to really move the profession forward. And it just makes me really excited about what the future holds.
Very, very true. I've been telling the story a little bit this weekend that, I have this background in real estate before I ever got into podiatry, before I ever got into medicine. And I worked with a firm that dealt a lot with distressed assets, okay? And it's kind of interesting because in a lot of ways I'm seeing APMA, I'm seeing our profession as being a bit of a distressed asset in itself. Doesn't look very pretty necessarily on the outside, maybe even on the inside, but it has so much potential. So I'm on board with you. I'm very excited to see what's to come.
Absolutely. And the passion. She had talked about passion in our profession, finding a way to move the profession forward, engaging in that passion. And, if you don't speak up, then your voice is never heard. So again, I have a lot of respect for all the different people here and making it better.
You got it. Yeah, it's about unification. I think at the end of the day, one of the big problems in our profession is that it is very fragmented. We don't come together enough, actually have good conversation. We don't do it fluidly enough. We don't share resources. We don't share our problems and try to find solutions to common goals, which a lot of us have. And so fortunately, I think with good leadership and a good dynamic CEO now, I think we can start to accomplish that in a way like we've never been able to do before. So.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, David. We appreciate your
Of
time.
course.
I know you have other things on your agenda for today, but until next time, we'll catch you later.
Anytime.
Cheers.
Hey everyone, Dean's Chat on location. We're at the House of Delegates meeting with the APMA in Washington, D.C. And I'm here with Dr. Mike King, past president of APMA. Really an exciting meeting so far.
It is. It's really fun. I haven't been back in a few years, Dr. Jensen, and so it's nice to reconnect with some of my old friends. I do miss the backroom politics of what went on here and still goes on here. There's a lot of big changes, especially in the board's world, and a whole new world of leadership at APMA, which is really exciting. So it's fun to be here again.
You know, that was just a fabulous meeting this morning about budgets and the direction of APMA going forward. What were your thoughts?
Well, what's interesting is that I think that we've been really flush with membership, with money, with reserves and everything. And, you know, as about the time the COVID hit, things seemed to go, I'll just say downhill. Difficulties with membership, difficulties with money. So to that point, I think, you know, it's a breath of fresh air to see transparency, discussions about where we're really at and what we need to do to get the association back on its feet where it really belongs. And I think the AMA president this morning, I thought his address was great, talking about the unity part of it. And I think I would really try to push him now to live up to that expectation he has for unity among the professions.
Oh my God, that's a great point. You've worked for years on unity and parity, and it's come a long way.
It has come a long way. I mean, think about when we started in practice, you know, and I'm going to sound like Abe Lincoln, but it was a challenge to even get hospital privileging and to get procedural coverages of things that I was trained on in the early 80s. Now it's just such a great open door opportunity for so many people, and the parity. You know, maybe we don't always get the same respect yet, but we have earned it, and we're breaking through that glass ceiling, if you will. So it's exciting to see for the Abe Lincoln in the profession.
Well, it is fantastic, and thank you for all you've done for our profession over the years.
Well, thank you as well. And you're in the academic side. I've been the politician and the coding and whatever. You know what? It's a passion for us, which is why we do it.
Right.
We're not getting rich from it. Certainly didn't get rich in practice from it, but it's a passion that we have, that we love. And you know, if we can make the changes that we work on, Jeff, all the time, we will retire happy people.
Absolutely. One other thing I wanted to ask you, you're the medical director for Upperline.
Yes.
And Upperline Health
Yes.
is one of the largest employers of podiatrists in the country.
About 350 now.
Congratulations, that's
Thank
just
you.
incredible. What's the future there?
Well, what a lot of people haven't taken into account is that CMS really wants to do away with fee-for-service, and they say by 2030. They're going to shoot that across the bow and make it probably not. But the value-based healthcare is what's coming, and we even saw the Medicare numbers from the AMA president this morning talking about those massive facility expenses and no catch-up with physicians. It's time for them to catch up with the physicians. Well, maybe we're not going to do that in the physician fee schedule, but where we can do that is in the value-based healthcare world, where when we save the system money, that system's willing to give us that money back. We're entitled to that. And maybe that's a bad word. We've worked and earned that. And if we're making our patients better at a lower cost with better outcomes, there should be a reward.
A share, absolutely.
That's right. You know, there's so much money in healthcare. It's just in the wrong places right now. And so what we're trying to do, and I hope that we do, is make people aware that value-based healthcare is where we're going. You need to be aware of it. You need to be part of it, wherever that is. Whether that's with us, it's with someone else, it doesn't matter. But we need to be part of that as DPMs moving forward.
And so much of that advocacy comes from right here at the APMA.
It does. And I think that was one of the more exciting parts. Frustrating at times. You know, 16 trips to CMS, and I left one time with something in my hands besides pieces of paper. But you have to do that because it's that one time that changes everything for the next generation.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us on Dean's Chat.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure, Jeff.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Mike. Hello, everyone. Dean's Chat on location. Day 2, APMA House of Delegates meeting is almost over. We've had the opportunity to interview leaders in the profession and students and young practitioners. What are your reflections on the weekend, Joe?
Yeah, you know, overwhelmingly, the theme has absolutely been passion. There's a palpable energy that has been developing over the last couple days. And it's, you know, my first time here, so it's been really fun to hear different people reflect on, this feels different, this is different, and it feels different. So the passion is definitely something that I feel like is, like, you can feel it.
Yeah,
it's very palpable.
You know,
what about you?
Yeah, well, likewise, interesting. Yesterday morning, we kind of kicked off the day with the budget discussions. We also discussed the plan for the future. And so Patrick DeHere, who's president-elect, and Megan McClelland, our new CEO, really laid out a path for the future, not only financially, but the strategies around the financial commitment. So everything from student recruitment to potentially even rebranding the profession.
Yeah. I mean, some very interesting and exciting things in terms of unifying us as a profession. And I think some of the other things that were really interesting from the sense that I got from those that have been here more regularly is all of the key players were here. We had every organization that is part of our profession. We're here at this meeting because they were all interested in what's going to happen and how are things going to move forward. And that collaborative spirit, I was actually really impressed by. Our state societies, our national organizations, there is a real sense of collegiality. And I don't think it's wrong to ask for transparency and accountability and to negotiate with each other about how we make those things happen. And again, that anticipation of like, well, what's going to happen? Watching it actually play out was really quite eloquent. It was really beautiful to see that democratic process happen, and in a way that is working together to continue to make things better. And I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, I think the foundation was laid for unification going forward.
Yeah.
Really doing what's best for the profession. And if everybody puts the profession first, like we do at the college, we put the students first.
Yep.
But if we as collective groups put the profession first, the sky's the limit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, it was a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
So much fun. Yeah. And again, it's just so invigorating how many incredible people are in this profession and how much work they're doing behind the scenes. Every time we talk with someone, there's something new that we learn. And like, wow, you're like all of the things that you're doing. And, you know, people aren't shouting it from the rooftops. They're just living their life and doing the best that they can and volunteering and supporting. And there's really some incredible common human spirit in our profession. And it's just really exciting.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take snippets from the interviews we did. I'll bet we've got almost an hour and a half of interviews. And we'll make 2 or 3 podcasts out of it and really give all of our listeners and our viewers on YouTube a feel for the vibe here at the House of Delegates in 2025. So thanks for helping, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. This has been fun.
Such a good time. All
Indeed.
Right. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.